I'ma take y'all back where it all started.
Let me tell you about my city, a little town where I'm from, where everybody's southern raised, just as good as they come. Backwoods and Macioke and mud holes, and back then we only ate what the farm grow. Man, I miss some days how we played on them dirt roads, and out of towners came with respect, cause they know we all close. Yeah, southern pride, towing gun folks. Welcome to my city, I-75 South, just north of Live Oak.
I'm from a city called Austin, Georgia, right on the border of Florida. I was raised on these dirt roads, mud tires, spin backwoods when they ride. This is small town living, yeah. Now welcome to my city, title town 229. Turn it up so they can hear it loud. We eddied up with big trucks and heavy G's. Pretty girls get moonshine and whiskey.
It's nothing like our dirt roads, you can bet that, son. I'm from a city, by any means, we gon' protect our guns. I hang with the rednecks and yee-yees. We get up in big trucks in the backwoods like Indians and teepees. This the home of the mighty, mighty Vikings. Wildcats, blazing, title town license. Winners, pretty girls with country grammar. When I say about Austin, Georgia, I ain't talking about Atlanta. This a different type of city, where the woods are pretty, but get gritty, you hear me? What you know about that 229? You can find us on the Florida, Georgia line, where I reside.
I'm from a city called Austin, Georgia, right on the border of Florida. I was raised on these dirt roads, mud tires, spin backwoods when we ride. This is small town living, yeah. Now welcome to my city, title town 229. Turn it up so they can hear it loud. We eddied up with big trucks and heavy G's. Pretty girls get moonshine and whiskey. Georgia, right on the border of Florida. I was raised on these dirt roads, mud tires, spin backwoods when we ride. This is small town living, yeah. Now welcome to my city, title town 229. Turn it up so they can hear it loud. We eddied up with big trucks and heavy G's. Pretty girls get moonshine and whiskey.
Hey, what's up, Title Town? It's Thursday night, and it's time to awaken the nation. Listen, we need every single one of you. Every single one of you. Man, woman, boy, girl, baby, infant, whatever. We need every single one of you awake, alive, with a pulse, up in Swanee, Georgia, tomorrow night. Now, I realize it's a long road trip on a Friday afternoon, on the other side of Metro Atlanta. But guys, this team's got something special. We got to go support them, because there's going to come a time in this game tomorrow night when our Vikings need us. Something is going to go wrong. Something always goes wrong during a game that affects energy level of your team. How do they get that back? They lean on their crowd. They lean on their fans. And so that's why we need a lot of fans. We need a lot of fannies in those bleachers tomorrow night. Now, I know it's on GPB, and I know a lot of you are going to stay home because of that, because let's face it, it's more comfortable sitting in your recliner watching the game on TV, because that's a long trip up there. But I'm telling you guys, they can't feel your energy across the TV waves. I'm not sure if TV waves is even a word, but I'm going to use it tonight. Hey, listen, welcome to the Viking Nation Live. Appreciate you guys being here tonight. Thank you so much for joining us on tonight's show. Don't forget to like and share on all your social media needs. You know, we're streaming obviously on Facebook. We're streaming as well this year on YouTube. And so I hear from many of you that you really do appreciate that. So yeah, we want to take advantage of that. Now, I was hoping to start streaming on X, or the former Twitter, this year, but we ran into some technical difficulties. Going to work on that during the off season, and hopefully we'll get that to you, because there's a lot of people on Twitter, especially in the high school football world. So that is going to be a priority in the off season. But I do appreciate every single one of you that join us each week, and the ones that can't join us live to catch us on the on-demand version, if you will. So if you're watching tonight and you haven't followed the Viking Nation on Facebook, do that right now. Go ahead and like and share that Facebook page, the Viking Nation. Why? Because we produce great content. We don't do it for us. We do it for you guys, because we are the only social media outlet that represents our fans. And Lowndes, we have some great social media outlets, right? Lowndes Athletics does great stuff. Lowndes Football does great stuff. They put out some tremendous content, but they represent the players and the school. This is the only social media platform that represents you guys, our audience, the fans. And so that's why we want to encourage you guys to share this stuff with other fans, so we have a place of our own. So thank you so much for joining us. Welcome everyone to the Viking Nation. Listen, I am pleased to announce, like I am every single week, that our Vikings are 10-0. Well, no, let me take that back. 10-1. I've been rehearsing that all year long, 10-0, but kind of slipped up on me there. 10-1, but still a very, very impressive regular season and first round playoff win over a pretty good Collins Hill. Let's be honest. When Collins Hill hit the field during warmups, and you saw how big their offensive line was, and you saw how big their running back slash linebacker slash defensive end slash everything in Deuce Gerald's was, how many of you kind of thought, uh-oh, this might be a long night? And then when Collins Hill got that first possession and they marched down the field, and they did it very methodically, right? Just boom, 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 just like an army just going down there, just marching on us. Couldn't stop them, but their drive stalled. They kicked a field goal, took a 3-0 lead. How many of you said, uh-oh? But you know what? Our Vikings got it together, and they did it very quickly, and there was no looking back from that moment on. Guys, it was complete domination by Lowndes over Collins Hill. And I was so glad to see it, because we owed them one. They got us the last couple of times we played those guys, knocked us out of the playoffs. So it was good. It felt good returning the favor. So anyway, before we go on, let's go ahead and check in on the comment line. A lot of you already checking in with us. Armond Rashad says Vikes by 50. He's a big time guy at Langdale Kia. And so he's over there trying to close out a couple of big deals. So he's going to try to join us later on in the show tonight. Claudia Mine says, hey, it's me again. Welcome back, Claudia. Nathan Lincoln reminds us about the 12th man. He says, then Bridgman ready to bring that 12th man to North Gwinnett. Go Vikings and go Bridgman. Nathan does a great job driving the Bridgman, and he's ready for his drive tomorrow morning. Jerry Safford says, bring back that dub, Vikings. Sharon Hemp says, go Vikings. Belinda Warner Grant, you got this. Go Vikings. Absolutely. Neil Colberth, nothing like seeing the game live and in person. Amen, Neil. Zena Robinson says, a fan bus would have been nice. It would have been. It would have been, Zena. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. I think the last time we had a fan bus this season was when? Did we take one over to Richmond Hill? I can't remember where we took a fan. We did take a fan bus somewhere this season, but unfortunately, I guess it couldn't be worked out for this particular game. It would have been nice, Zena. You're right, because Swanee, Georgia is a long way up there. Whew. So Sharon Hemp says the boys need to get off the bus strong, and Carter does not need to go conservative in the play calling. I get the feeling you're going to get your wish tomorrow night, Sharon. I don't think Coach Carter is going to go conservative with his play calling. Whether you're talking about defense, whether you're talking about offense, you saw how non-conservative he was last night with that fake punt. Listen, this is the playoffs, right? Win and you keep going, lose and you're going home. It's single elimination tournament time. So Sharon, I don't think you have anything to worry about tomorrow night as far as conservative play calling goes. Robert Lynn says, let's go, mighty Vikings. JB Wilson, good to see you, JB. Says, shout out to Berrien and Valdosta State for their 2 big upsets last weekend. JB, man, when I found out, I was at Concrete Palace last Friday night. My mom and I were. And when Berrien pulled the impossible, and everybody at that point, up to that point, deemed that game, Berrien at Lamar County, as the impossible. I had to do a mea culpa. Man, I was so excited when I got the news that Berrien had knocked off Lamar County 7-0. And let me tell you how big, I know this is a live show. You guys indulge me because it doesn't happen much when my Berrien Rebels win a playoff game. Okay, so just indulge me for a second. So Berrien goes up there. Their division, their classification has already started the postseason ranking stuff, right? So no top 4 in your region goes. They've already started the postseason ranking stuff this year. So Berrien was the number 31 seed out of 32 teams, traveling up to Lamar County, and Lamar County was the number 2 seed, 10-0 out of 32 teams. And Berrien goes up there and knocks them off 7-0. But there is no rest for the weary because this week they've got to travel way, way, way up there, North Georgia to Raven County. And so that's going to be, man, if my Rebels can pull it off 2 weeks in a row, tomorrow night when I stop at Buc-ee's on the way back, I'm going to celebrate. I am going to celebrate. And that entire store is going to know about Big Red and the mighty Berrien Rebels. I promise you that. All right. So enough about Berrien. So, let me take that back. Good luck to Coach Jackson Dean and all those Berrien fanatics driving up I-75 tomorrow. So go get them, Big Red. Oh, by the way, Coach Jackson Dean is a former Lowndes assistant coach. So everybody in Viking Nation needs to be pulling for Rebel country up there. That's all I'm saying. So thanks, JB, for reminding me of that. And obviously for Valdosta State, another alma mater of mine, knocking off, I believe was West Florida, JB, to take the Gulf South Conference. So congratulations. Robert Lynn says, shout out to you Berrien Rebels. Absolutely. Tawana Woods, show did Richmond. Nathan Lincoln took a fan bus to Richmond Hill. So he reminds us about Richmond Hill. Yep. Tawana Woods says, North Gwinnett has played several decent teams, and that is how they have advanced. They haven't played anyone of our caliber yet. You might be right there. You might be right there. Caller, hold on 1 second. All right, so we got a treat for you guys tonight. Coach Reshon Benjamin, the Lowndes High boys basketball coach, is joining us on the show tonight as a call-in because he's got some big news. They are starting a big campaign Monday night at the Crimson Coliseum. Lowndes Basketball, they are, man, oh man, they're off to a 2-0 start. And guys, so proud of these guys. So proud of these guys. They're off to a 2-0 start. And Monday night, they are going to be hosting the Charles Cooper Invitational. I think that's right. That's what it's called, right? And more importantly, our Lowndes Vikings are going to be hosting the number 16 ranked team in the nation, according to the ESPN National Top 100. And so they're going to be taking on the Villages Charter School. So, Coach Benjamin, are you with me? All right. Hey, I want to just make sure that our audience can hear you because sometimes this technical stuff just doesn't go as planned. So if you're listening in the audience tonight, can you guys hear Coach Benjamin? Please say yes. Please say yes. So hold on, Coach. I'll wait for this audience to say something. All right. So okay. So I think, well, no one's answered yet. So anyway, let's just move on. Let's just move forward with our interview coaching. Okay. Tierra Battle says no. What the heck? Coach, man. These guys, they crack me up all the time. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can figure this out real fast. Smartphone. Says, dadgummit. Coach, everybody says they can't hear you. So can you do this? Do this for me. That link that I sent you, click on that link, and there you have an option to go audio only. Okay, so you can use that as a virtual phone as well. Okay. Thank you, Coach. This dang man, I get so aggravated about this equipment sometimes. Spend all this money on this equipment, and it fails me when I need it the most. I don't understand it. I think North Gwinnett has sent technical spies to infiltrate my equipment. But anyway, hopefully Coach Benjamin will join us soon. In the meantime, let's get super fan Armond Rashad on the line with us. Mr. Sales Manager.
Hey, what's going on? That's Eric.
What's up?
What's up? Y'all say what's up to E? Fellow Lowndes alumni. All right. We got Beef Stew here.
What's going on?
All right. You see, we down here, a fancy new location.
Man, I see that. That's fancy.
Working late. I'll give y'all a tour a little later on.
Hey, listen, if you guys if you guys have the need for a new or used car, go see my man Armond Rashad at the new Langdale Kia right there on North Valdosta Road. Brand new spanking dealership. They moved from the downtown area over to North Valdosta Road, right next to the Hyundai store, and in between them and you guys know where Culver's is on North Valdosta Road. So go see Armand if you need a car down there. You know, he's been very, very good to our show this year, so we want to show him some love as well. So you guys need a car this upcoming holiday season, go give Armand a call. Armand, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing all right. Next person buy a car from me, I'll buy you some Culvers. If that's what it takes.
Hey, there you go. There you go. Armand, as we wait Coach Benjamin to give us a call, man, it really bugs me when our equipment doesn't work the way it's planned.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So let's talk about the Collins Hill game that we just had.
Yes, sir.
Last Friday night. So, Armand, I got to ask you, when Collins Hill had the ball their first possession and they zoomed down the field, that's exactly what they did. Very methodical. Zoomed down the field, basically did everything they wanted to do, and their drive stalled in the red zone. They kicked a field goal. Were you nervous at all?
Nah, I wasn't nervous. No, I wasn't nervous. Because this year we tend to adjust pretty well, right? It's not the first time a team has started off and had some success doing their first drive. Now, what we do afterwards, after that first drive, that's when I kind of start to get, a little nervous or concerned. I won't say nervous. I say I can be concerned. Now, what Collins Hill did, they stuck true to their game. And the one thing what I tell everybody is that the first drive, no matter what school, pro team, whatever, that first drive is really scripted, and so if you can't score on your first drive, that means like what have you been doing all week, right? And the same thing is on defense. If you can't stop them on that first drive.
Yeah.
What have you been doing? I believe we held them to a field goal. Am I right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, we have them to a field goal. So I think the defense has been on par for the season. That bend don't break. Get real stingy in the red zone, and that's what we did.
Yeah, and speaking of getting stingy in the red zone, they didn't do much all night, all over the field.
No, no,
So
no. They
it
had
was, you know, very rarely will I beat my chest as far as use words like domination, but Armand, I can't think of a better word to describe the way Lowndes played on all three facets of the game Friday night against
yeah.
Collinsville. Even the
Mm.
special teams dominated in their way.
Oh
Beautiful,
yeah.
executed a beautiful fake punt.
They got me because I just knew they were punting. I wasn't even recording. I was trying to.
That's exactly right.
So so look, guys. If my videography skills weren't on point, I got a new device. Trying to figure it out on the fly because it came in that Thursday night and I'm using it, during the game. And so I'm trying to figure out how to get, how to zoom back out. And I look up fake punt. But
Yep.
we needed that momentum. We needed that momentum, and similar to you see it all the time. Those fake punts or gadget plays steal the momentum, steal the thunder from the other team. So yeah, and you're right, Travis. We did Collins Hill that a beat down, but you know what? Deuce Gerald is as advertised.
He sure was. That dude was a beast. You know, I'm glad they tried to use him all over the field. I'm surprised they didn't use him at punter or place kicker as well. I mean, but that dude
Yeah.
was tired. That dude was tired in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, he was. He was. But he was game. He was game. I mean, we got that last touchdown that we scored. We tried to run it. He was, he lined up right over the center, and we tried to run it right after at him, and to little to no success. And then Jace finally bounced that last run outside to score. But yeah, he was as advertised.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, we've got Coach Reshon Benjamin. Let me go ahead and add him to our stream. He's going to be audio only. Coach, do we have you?
Yes, sir. How you doing, man?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Coach. We've got fellow super fans, Armond Rashad, and you're familiar with Chase Garnto as well, so they're going to be helping me with this interview tonight. Well, first of all, thank you so much for joining us on the program tonight as you I guess the right word is tip off a brand new season this year. Coach, every year a team, whether it's football or basketball, they take on their own characteristic, their own nature, right? Mm-hmm. So what's the identity of this team that you've noticed so far in preparing in the off season and first couple of games under your belt so far this year? What do you think the identity of this team is so far?
But before I answer that question, just looking at Mr. Rashad right there, I think we're all a bit underdressed right now. What's going on? What's going on with the button-up shirt and tie, man? What are we doing?
Look,
Coach,
you know what I do for
professor.
a living, man.
Coach,
wait,
call him the
you know what I do for a living, so
I hear you. I hear you.
So I gotta look the part, man. If y'all can see Eric on a daily basis, you would really understand why every now and then I have to put on a tie. So
I hear you, man. Good little stuff, man. But anyway, to answer your question, Mr. Godwin, I think the slogan has always been this year, better together, right? And you know this as well as I do in sports. Some of the best teams are the more unified.
That's right.
They operate more as a family and a brotherhood. And we've been excited about this class for some years now. I can remember when they were freshmen, they almost went undefeated as a freshman team, the senior group. And they're just really, really close. They spend a lot of time outside of what we do in terms of practice and games, spending the night at each other's house. They play AAU together, so the slogan was better together because I feel like we're more unified. And as we're one, that's going to give us a better opportunity to win on the floor too. So.
Well, that's awesome, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Listen, Coach, I don't know if you know Tawana Wood. She's the mom of one of our football players. So she has this comment. She says, Coach Benjamin sounds like Mufasa from The Lion King. Deep voice. Welcome to the show. So, Coach, should we start calling you the Lion King?
You know, a lot of people tell me I have the voice for radio. Every single time I do a radio interview, I kind of get that feedback. But tell Mr. Warner I said thank you, but no, don't call me Mufasa.
Hey, coach. Every time I hear you speak, I have to look twice because you and your dad sound just
Yeah,
alike.
yeah, I get that a lot too. I get that a
So,
lot too, man.
so you get it honest. So
I do. I do.
I was honestly going to say I could relate to Coach's comment because everybody told me all my life I got the face for radio. So yeah,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, Coach, listen, you got a big season in front of you, and you've got a starting off next week. You got a pretty big game that you're welcoming a national powerhouse into your house.
Yes,
So
sir.
talk a little bit about why you wanted to bring in such a big name to begin your season.
Yep. Well, I've known Coach Colt McDowell over there at the Villages for quite some time. They had a Christmas tournament 3 years ago. They invited us to, and going down, it was first class. It was professionally run, and since that time, we've been in constant communication about trying to get them to come back up and play us. And so he reached out back in, had to be August, saying they had an opening on their schedule, and I told him what we had, and we were able to kind of figure it out. Initially, we didn't have them on the schedule to play us. I had them playing somebody else, at the Thanksgiving Invitational. But when I took a look at where they were ranked and some of the guys they got being recruited, and I thought to myself, man, it'd be robbery, to take that away from our fans and our community, not to share the court with them, and when you think about it, Mr. Godwin, I think that it's important for the program to share the court with great teams.
Yeah.
Win, lose, or draw, this gives you an opportunity to see where you are and maybe how close or how far the gap really is. And so if we're talking about achieving the ultimate goal, which could be a state championship eventually, we can't run from national powerhouses. I mean, Wheeler, who won the state title last year, they're ranked 6th nationally. So that's something we can't run from, and we're not going to, man. So we're super duper excited about it. I think this is probably, and Mr. Rashad and Mr. Gornto, you can probably correct me on this if I'm wrong, but this might be the first time from a basketball standpoint that we've been able to host a national powerhouse and bring them to Lowndes High School for our community.
I gotta agree. The
yeah,
last
I
one
don't
was the one we just had to play. The last one was that I can remember was just who we had to play, and that was Tip County. They've always been dominant. But the one thing I did notice, Coach, you guys got a lot of size this year. A
Yeah.
couple guys listed at 6'7".
Yes, sir.
Also, and just looking at the two rosters, I think you guys are going to match up pretty well with the Villages. So my question to you is what's going to be the difference in this game for the Vikings to win?
Well, doing some scouting, and I took some notes earlier watching film on them, man. And the game of basketball is kind of moving to a positionless model. And although they have size, they have a lot of guys who are what I call duplicates. Like they do the same thing. So pretty much everybody on their team can dribble, pass, shoot. They're a phenomenal 3-point shooting team, and they shoot a lot of them. But I think where we're going to be able to kind of have a slight advantage is our bigs are truly big and know how to play inside and can make post moves and rebound and block shots well. But on the other end, their bigs are more, get out, run the floor, try to make a highlight in transition, and so, this is probably the biggest team that I could remember Lowndes High ever having. 3 6 6 6 sevens, and
Yeah.
we got a 6'5" coming off the football field when Colt Fleming gets done, and Bubba Brown's gonna be a 6'3" point guard. So up and down the roster, eventually we'll probably have a makeup of somewhat of a college team, which is exciting for our fans and everybody involved. But to answer your question, Mr. Rashad, I think us going inside and playing a traditional style of back to the basket. Bigs being able to finish around the rim, being able to post up and isolate and take advantage of us having more girth, as opposed to being scrawny and running the floor. I think that's going to help out to our advantage.
Coach, you had
Coach,
go ahead, Chase.
what's it like having two guys that can really put their backs to the basket and go to work like Caden
Mm-hmm.
and KB?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a luxury, man. It's a luxury, and you know, as I just said, man, the game moving more to a more modern, fast-paced, get up and down, high-tempo style of game. You know, most teams aren't prepared for that. You know, most teams are thinking when they see 6'6" and 6'7", you know, these guys might be trying to get out and run. And so also what it does too, man, if you make it up just right and you surround them with the right type of talent, now when those guys see double teams, we're kicking it out to shooters. You know, and we
Yeah,
have enough shooters, and we have enough shooters this year to where, man, if anybody tries to double team those guys, man, it's like pick your poison. Either we finish on your
yeah,
inside early and often, or you try to take that away and we kick it out to the shooters, and they have a good night from not deep. So,
yeah.
good
Because
question.
you got some good shooters in Wyatt Ferguson and
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
the other kid TJ. I call him TJ. I don't know what his actual name is. I'll be honest
Hey,
with you.
yes, sir. This you guys, Mr. Garnto, he's speaking from a man that's inside. He's inside, so he knows what we have. That's TJ. That's TJ. We got Lloyd Johnson also, the kid that
Yeah,
transferred from Valdosta High, and
yeah. Lloyd's a
Tamarcus.
shooter now. That boy can spark.
He's never met a shot he didn't like. I'll tell you
That's a fact.
that.
Well, guys, if you're just now joining us here on the Viking Nation Live on our regularly scheduled program on every Thursday night at 7 o'clock, we got a treat for you. Not just talking about Lowndes football tonight, although that's important. You guys tune in for that. We've also got Coach Reshon Benjamin, head basketball coach for the boys team out there at Lowndes High, and he's talking about his upcoming season. Got a big game next Monday night when they host the Villages Charter School down there in Central Florida. Coach, you know, last year's campaign didn't end the way that you wanted. It wasn't. It was a good year, but to your standards, it wasn't a great year. Right?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
You graduated you graduated some kids. So, which returning players took big steps during the off season? And let me scratch that question.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, which returning players took big steps, but you've got also some other kids stepping up. So those kids that are stepping up, which one of those are you expecting big things from this year as well?
Good question, man. Those seniors that graduated, we had out of the 5, 3 of them signed collegiate scholarships to play basketball at the next level. You know, so that's big for the program, man. Tremendous lead. Cam Jackson was a kid who we were highly invested in, and he was somewhat of the type of kid that if the play broke down or if the offense got stagnant, we could pass him the ball and he could go get a bucket. And it's always good to have kids like that. But back to my initial statement that I said when I first got on the air, we're better because we're more together. This is more of a unified group. We're talking about a group out of the 15-man roster, 8 of them are seniors. And, you know, just to answer that question that you just asked about who's stepping up, Mr. Garnto just mentioned Caden Brown. Caden Brown has probably made one of the biggest leaps that I've seen from a kid going from his junior year to his senior year.
Wow.
Since I've been coaching. You know, this kid he's one of those 6'7" kids who initially, early on in his high school career, he was more of a traditional back to the basket guy, could turn and score underneath. Now he's expanded his game to shooting threes, and you know, he's able to catch the ball on the perimeter and attack and get to certain spots. So he hasn't forsaken his back to the basket moves at all, but he's just expanded into a bigger role and more of a prolific scorer. Our first game of the season, he had 23 points, 11 rebounds when we played Westover. And that's right around the area of production I can see him having consistently because he has a high ceiling. So Caden Brown's one of those guys. Caden Martin is the other one. Out of our 6'6", 6'7" bigs, they're all versatile, but they're all different. That's what I love about them. They're all different. So Caden Martin, he's more of the enforcer, you know, Draymond Green type of guy. Set hard screens, don't take no mess from nobody. The team, they all call him Bruiser because he doesn't mind. At some point, preseason, he's probably had somebody on the floor at some point. So he's a big kid, man. He had 11 points, 15 rebounds against Westover in our first game. Just kind of more of a stat sheet stuffer. Does anything we need him to do. And then there's Terrell Green, the kid that transferred to us 2 years ago from Arizona. The other 6'6" big. He's the rim run, catching the dunk spot. He's the kid that's going to make you get out your seat. Anytime he gets anywhere around the rim, we're throwing it up to him, and he's jamming it home with authority. And so between our bigs, those are the three guys to look out for. Our guards, Jamarcus Walker, Anthony Barise, TJ Thomas, Wyatt Ferguson, great shooter, great leader, great communicator. And then we also have Lloyd Johnson, the kid we talked about. And then we have two dynamic sophomores. One of them's hurt. The other one is coming off the football field. We just talked about him. But Dallas Montgomery, he fractured his elbow back during fall league, so he's been out. He's probably going to be out until late December, early January. And then Bubba Brown will be coming off the football field. And once we get all those guys in, we'll round out that roster, and I feel like we'll be really, really competitive.
Come on, Coach. You can't have Bubba for another 4 weeks. I'm just saying.
Hey, we've already got that understood. We talked about that, man. Every time I go in the field house, I'll look at one of the coaches and I'll say, hey, we won't see him until the end of December, right? And it's the end of December. So we're all on the same page about that. We're rooting for those guys too, man. Hopefully they can bring it home tomorrow night.
Hey, Coach. At first, you first describing the first kid. I thought you was talking about me and my, because I was like the Draymond Green type. Except for you said 6 foot. I was like, okay, he's not talking about me. But but my, I tell everybody I could dunk, and I had 5 good fouls for you. But my question to you is, with those you mentioned those 8 seniors.
Yes, sir.
I'm always been like the teams that you don't have to coach up, the ones that keep themselves accountable, usually have that senior leadership. Can you just tell us how important that's going to be for this season?
Man, it's amazing that you asked that, man, because there are times that in present moments, like in a practice or in a game, I try to take little photo snapshot memories because I know every year is not going to be like this.
Yeah.
And so between Caden Martin and Wyatt Ferguson, let me tell you, man, like there are times things that go on in practice. Maybe a guy, he's not giving 100% effort or he messes up a drill. Those guys are jumping on him before I can say anything. And we know, as you said, Mr. Reshon, when you have those teams that are basically self-run, that's a recipe. That's the perfect recipe for success. And so between those two guys, man, Caden Martin, Wyatt Ferguson, they spearheaded a lot of stuff we do. They actually also try to spearhead team functions, to try to create that close-knit type of relationship off the court. And they're the most vocal and the most communicative. So hats off to those guys for what they're doing. They've really bought in and invested in everything we do. As a matter of fact, man, we started, so in preseason, we do this thing on Friday mornings. We call it Rise and Grind, where at 6:15, they'll meet me at the school and we'll have our early morning lift and core workout. And I remember after the second workout, the second Friday of the preseason, they got everybody in the middle of the circle. And we talked about the trajectory of the program, right? And we talked about how in 2022, we lost in the second round to Norcross, who were the eventual state champions that year. And in 23, we lost to Pebblebrook at the buzzer. These are Metro Atlanta powerhouses here. And so, it shows that to lose those games by the close margin that we did, fellas were not that far off. And so those guys got together in the circle, and every time they would break down to get ready to depart from each other, in unison they would say state champs. And the first couple of times they said it, I'm like, okay. And then around the third or fourth time, you can kind of see the belief, as they would say it. Like there are certain guys that would say it with their chest, as opposed to, not really believing it. So that's something that they're hanging their hat on, and we're going to get behind that and ride this wave for as long as we can. But that senior leadership is important, and I think this team is for sure run by the seniors.
Well, Coach
Yeah,
Coach Benjamin, I can hear the confidence in your voice the more that you talk. Listen, we wish you the very best of luck this season. We're going to try as an organization here at the Viking Nation to try to get out to some games and get some photos for you. So, because you guys deserve it as well. So we wish you the best of luck Monday night.
I will say this: if Coach don't have enough confidence, I got something I can give him. Because Coach, I will tell you that is a really, 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 really special group you have as far as your seniors go. I have watched them boys play for the last probably 4 years on the AAU circuit, and those boys do absolute damage.
They do.
Most teams cower down as soon as they see KB and Noodle come out. And then you got little AB out there running around like a madman with the ball on the yo-yo string.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, you got a really special group, man, and I hope for nothing but the best for you guys for sure.
We appreciate that, man. And
Hey, and Coach.
Go ahead.
And one last thing from me, just so you don't think I'm biased. Y'all got Brooks County coming up. Am I right? On the 22nd, and it's at 5:30. Right?
Yes,
it's
sir.
at 5:30. Y'all go out there and check it out. But guess what? I got the Vikes by City. Vikes by City over Brooks County. It ain't stopping. They can bring the Bulls in. I still got the Vikes by City. So that's what you got from me.
We appreciate that, man. We appreciate it. Hey, listen, fellas, real quick, man. I'll be remiss if I didn't mention next week. We're playing the Villages that Monday, but we have a full slate of games going on all day, and it's going to start at 10:30, and it'll be a girls' game, then a boys' game, then a girls' game, then a boys' game. But the talent level is crazy throughout the whole entire invitational. So we have Bell and Jesuit coming out of Miami. They were the Florida State champions in 2023. We have a Central Fellowship Christian out of Macon, and they got the #1 ninth grader in Georgia right now, Shaheem Barbosa. We also have The Rock coming out of Gainesville. That's where Joel Embiid, former NBA MVP, that's his former high school. We got them coming up too. And then we got Rickards out of Tallahassee and Colquitt County out of Moultrie. So it's a full slate of games.
You sure do. That's a heck of a slate.
Yeah, it's going to be some good basketball being played. And I always say, even if you're not a Lowndes fan, if you're just a fan of basketball, man, this is where you need to be.
Right.
Yes, sir. Well, Coach, best of luck, and go get her done.
Yes, sir. Thank you, fellas. Appreciate you having me.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hey, go Vikings.
Go Vikings.
Man, I think Tawana's right. I think he's got a future in doing voiceover work. Coach Mufasa. I'm gonna start when I see him. The next time I'm gonna call him Coach Mufasa. That's his nickname for. No, listen, we have come up with some nicknames during this show this year.
Hey, Larry, just say it one time. Just say the name one time. Just say it. Just say Mufasa one time.
Ooh, say it again.
It took me a second to see what you guys were up to there.
Dude, that's one of my favorite movies.
Absolutely.
It's like
have y'all seen the live action remake? I didn't like it as much.
No, I wouldn't. Nah. I wouldn't. My childhood like.
I like the cartoon version better.
Nah.
Yeah.
But you know what? I just can't wait for us to be the king of football once again when Lowndes takes the win over North Gwinnett and continues its march to the state championship this year.
Well, look who's in the chat. Stickman, Tim Neesmith.
Stickman, Tim Neesmith. So, hey, just for Timmy, and so we can transition back into some football talk, Mr. Drum Major, is your band ready? Man, that gets me fired up every stinking time. I'm feeling good about tomorrow night, guys. I really am.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too.
All right, so we're on the road tomorrow night to North Gwinnett. I looked it up this afternoon. We haven't played North Gwinnett very many times throughout the history of the Lowndes Vikings. We are 2-0, and Randy McPherson has both of those wins against
Yep.
North Gwinnett. So the last time we played them, guys, was in 2019. Before that, we beat them in the state championship game in 2007, right? The very last state championship game that was played at a home stadium before it was moved to the Dome, right? So we beat those guys 34-6, and I believe, wasn't that in a rainstorm back in 07? I think it was, because I think I think we still had a grass field at Martin Stadium.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
The
the
last.
field was still grass, and I was in Germany, so I would not know if it was if it was raining that night.
I think
But
that was
Gotcha.
I think that was the Mud Bowl. I think that was the Mud Bowl.
Yeah. So in 2019, we played them again. Randy McPherson beat them in the semifinals that year,
mhm.
49-28. Very high scoring game. Listen, in the era of modern day football, we all recognize, guys, that North Gwinnett is a very high quality team. Year after year, they're always up there in the rankings, and it's no different this year. So they go into this game ranked number 5 in the state as far as the composite rankings goes. And so we got to be careful about these guys, you know. Here's what the write-up in the Georgia High School Football Daily, as far as the preview of this game goes, says, okay, so here it is. Lowndes beat, obviously, Collins Hill 37-16. Lowndes was outgained 393-340, but more balanced as the Vikings held Collins Hill to 15 rushing yards and intercepted 2 passes. You know, guys, Collins Hill had 340 yards, and we expected them to try to sling it all over the field. And that's basically how they got their yardage, right? Their short passing game was basically an extension of their running game. It goes on to say Jace Johnson passed for 131 yards and rushed for 36 with 3 total touchdowns. North Gwinnett beat South Gwinnett to get to this game this week, 49-16, with more than 200 yards rushing and passing. Elam Rahman was 12-16 passing for 183 yards and 2 touchdowns. Banks Holcomb was 5 for 5 for 33 yards. Khalil Mazzoni rushed for 89 yards and 2 touchdowns. So the last meeting we talked about, Lowndes won 49-28. So North Gwinnett is picked to win this game by 1, basically because they have the home field advantage. So the way I see this is Maxwell basically sees this as a straight up pick 'em, right? So what do you guys think? You saw how well Lowndes' offense played last week. Can we have a repeat performance 2 weeks in a row? And I asked that question on purpose to you, Armond, because one of the things that you've been harping on all year is the inconsistency of the Lowndes Vikings. The way you put it was the only team that can beat Lowndes is Lowndes because of its inconsistency. How do you feel about the Lowndes offense going into this North Gwinnett game?
I'm pretty confident because the one thing that I've always said is that a run game travels, right? Good defense travels, and as I look at over the roster, I think we match up size wise pretty well with them. But I also noticed that a lot of these kids are playing both ways.
Yeah,
So I think we're really going to have to play that complementary style of football to where we keep that defense on the field.
yeah.
And I know Chase might not like it, but that grinded out kind of football game is going to be in our favor because a lot of these kids are playing both ways. You mentioned Kyle Mazzoni. He plays a Khalil Mazzoni plays running back. He's 6'1", 205, but he also plays middle linebacker.
Yeah.
You got a lot of these kids where they're defensive end and the tight end. They're playing both ways, and while they got some size and they are indeed talented, I think if we can lean on them and run the ball effectively, I think we're gonna be all right.
Chase, you had a pretty good look at the Lowndes offensive scheme last week, that game plan. You think Lowndes has a similar game plan for North Gwinnett?
Yeah, if they're smart. I mean, I'm just being honest. Last week's game plan was beautiful, other than a couple of drives where they kind of stalled out. But outside of that, I thought their play call was pretty well last week.
Yeah,
They had a
pretty
great
good.
useful
We had
balance.
131 yards rushing against Collins Hill and 209, I'm sorry, 131 yards passing and 209 yards rushing, 38 attempts at running the ball and 17 passing attempts. So basically a 2-to-1 ratio run versus pass. You kind of expecting the same thing against North Gwinnett?
I am.
I
I
would think
am.
more of a, I would think more of a 60-40 type hit than anything. Maybe even a 55-45 type split. You know,
And you also got to kind of consider too. Game plan was a little altered. We didn't have
I,
Mason. Even though,
make him expend himself. Don't make him between the hashes.
all right.
I don't think
Like
he's.
I was,
Make him run sideline. Make him run sideline.
Armand, what were you
uh,
going to say?
the game plan might have been altered. Even though we had 2 weeks to prepare. You saw Nyan Simmons line up in the backfield. He got the start. You saw Braylon Neal, get some more carries. We returned to Danny Vickers. But we got Mason Woods back. All state, all area, all region running back Mason Woods. And I think he's the X factor in this game. We can get him going. That's going to allow us to get some play action, and it's going to allow us to control the tempo of the game. That's what I think Lowndes has to do. They have to control the tempo of this game, and they're going to have to lean on them. We got, Jorge and Eisenhower. They're going to have to dominate up front like they've been doing all year. And I think we're going to be all right. Defensively, keep everything in front of you. Keep everything in front of you. And don't beat us. Don't beat ourselves. That's all I can say.
Yeah. If you take a look at what South Gwinnett tried to do against North last week, South Gwinnett ran the ball 28 times for 151 yards, averaged about 5.5 yards a carry, threw the ball 19 times, completed 10 of those passes for about 150 yards. So pick your poison. North Gwinnett's defense can be got, if you will. So I'm expecting more of a balanced attack tomorrow night. Now, you take a look at these stats where South Gwinnett had a pretty good success running against North Gwinnett, but I think North Gwinnett is going to expect that from us tomorrow night. Don't get me wrong, we're going to run the ball plenty, but I think we're going to put the ball in the air a little bit more tomorrow night. That's what
The
I'm
return
expecting.
the return of Air Lowndes.
I don't think it's going to be the return of Air Lowndes, but I think it's going to be a little bit more balanced than it was last week.
I
Hey,
think
let me
they
ask
should
you a
come out.
question. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I honestly think they should come out and try to hit a big play right off Jump Street. Just try to go over the top to Bubba or Khalil or KT.
So you think he should go borrow a play from Randy McPherson's playbook? Because, Randy every once in a while would bring out that long, deep pass first play of the game.
Yeah, I think they should go. I think they should go play action to Mason Woods. I think they should run a tight set with your receivers up right to the line of scrimmage. Run play action. Show Mason trying to go through the middle like he likes to do, and have Jace just bomb it over the top.
I like that. Armand, let's switch over to the defensive side of the ball. Now, that defense guys, appear to be getting better and better each week. Man, that last week against Collins Hill, to say that our guys were swarming to the ball would be an understatement. Don't you think, Armand?
Yeah, we had 11 hats to the ball. I mean, these kids came out and, man, they played like they had something to prove, right? And I think they proved it. Proved that hey, we're good. And I think they did play together. But we did see some changes. We saw Marcus Vaughn at playing middle linebacker. Oh my God, he was one of the players of the week. He moved to he was playing linebacker as well. We saw Gavin Yates Line playing corner where he
Yeah.
traditionally plays safety. We saw some kids, move around. We saw Malik Redding lining up, in the nose or what I like to call the zero shade. So we saw Lowndes. They've been moving around, and then my guy Izzy Harrison. Just playing as always and just having a ball out there. Just lighting it up. So these kids here, there's a togetherness with this defensive unit, and they hold each other accountable, and they're gonna come together, and I think they're gonna put on quite a show Friday. And guess what we had? You mentioned it earlier. What was missing against Valdosta? We had 2 turnovers,
Yep.
and that
Absolutely.
plays a big part in everything. So
Man, that was probably the second most complete game that I've seen Lowndes play all year. It's very, very close to the very at the top of the heap when you throw special teams in there. That fake punt, I still can't get over that. That was a thing of beauty. Man, our punter sold that thing so well.
Yeah, he did.
yeah.
Yeah, he
He
did.
sold that thing. Golly.
Hey,
That was
LG,
like,
I got a question for you because I can't get to the box score of that North Gwinnett versus South Gwinnett game. What did it look like? What was the scoring like? First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Do you
oh,
have that?
yeah, hold on one second. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, it's on Max Preps. I went
Yeah,
and looked.
Yeah, he just can't reach it.
yeah. I forgot my password.
Oh. Look, would you like all of us and have probably 14 or 15 different passwords for 14 or 15 different programs, you're bound to forget one.
Yeah, I have no idea what my password is.
Well, you know what? They did not.
Hey,
Okay, so here it goes. Let's see. It was T. Yeah, so they don't have it broken out by quarter, but whoever the scorekeeper was put it in the play-by-play stuff. So it looks like North Gwinnett just jumped out to an early lead and just never relinquished it. So I went
Yeah.
back and on NFHS Network a couple of nights ago, I went back and watched the first half, and that's exactly what happened. South Gwinnett at no point threatened this game.
Gotcha.
Now, they did have some pretty good success moving the ball up and down the field, but as far as the red zone goes, they weren't very successful at all.
Gotcha.
one thing I have noticed about our defense, and now, Armand, you might correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're going to score on Lowndes' defense, better do it from about the 50-yard line, because if you don't do it from the 50, if you don't do it before you get to 50, you ain't scoring on Lowndes' defense.
And I'll say this too, guys. If you're going to score on this Lowndes defense, you better do it early in the game before they make their adjustments.
Yeah, because they're read and react, and they're gonna figure it out. Coach Carter, Coach Norwood, Coach Davis, all those guys. They're pretty smart and pretty good at what they do, and they've seen it all. So, and they do a
guys,
good job.
Armand, we might as well have had a 5-man front all night last Friday night, because most of the time we ran front, but those ends were basically a half yard off the ball.
Yeah.
If that, and we had probably like 8-9 guys in the box all night long, daring North Collins Hill to throw it, and they basically threw short intermediate passes, not very much all night long. So I expect a lot of that tomorrow night against North Gwinnett as well.
Yeah, and go for it, Chase.
I think a lot of Collins Hill's yardage, if I remember right, Armand, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of their yardage come off about three big chunk plays.
Yeah. He threw a dime for about 60 yards. He got that one, then another big chunk play, and another big chunk play that came late, in the fourth quarter. And I don't think Collins Hill, after the second quarter, they weren't too much of a threat anymore. But what I was gonna say, and I forgot what I was gonna say. Good Lord Almighty, I should have went ahead and said it right then and there.
You got some timers going on.
Yeah. I gotta get something to eat. I'm hungry. But
I hear you.
Oh, no. But I will say this though. I think that I wholeheartedly think that if we can get our defense in favorable positions,
Yeah.
and I think we're going to be all right. And we just got to win the turnover battle. That's all we got to do is just win the turnover battle, and we're going to be okay.
Yeah. Hey, last time we're going to go to the comment line. Tierra Battle says it was nice seeing us get to other receivers involved too. Amen to that, sister.
Oh yeah.
She says some targets were to McCameron, Khalil, and Waylon. Hey, man, how about Waylon Whiting catching a beautiful route over the middle late in the game? So Khalil and Waylon, we need to do that more often. Wilbur Pelfrey, welcome back to the program, Wilbur. He says if we played defense like we did against Colquitt and swarmed to the ball when they gave it to Lamar, that made him quit the following week. So he was so frustrated. I don't know about that, Wilbur, but I get what you're saying. If it goes back to what Armond has said all year, I'm turning into a believer when Armond says this, that I think the only team that can beat Lowndes is Lowndes this year. If we play consistently on offense, defense, and special teams like we did the other night against Collins Hill, it's going to be very hard to beat. Very hard to beat. And I'm expecting a pretty good showing tomorrow night as well. Chase, what you got?
Hey, I got a question for Travis Hart, because he posted down there in the comment section 5 wide receivers and no huddle. I was just wondering if he was hoping we were going to run the. I was just wondering if Travis was hoping we were going to run the oop-de-oop too. I mean,
Man, this ain't Friday Night Lights. What are you talking about?
That's not Friday night. And Larry needs to
that play never works.
Hey, it did in Varsity Blues now.
It never works.
There was also a player calling the plays in Varsity Blues as well.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right, so guys, before we get out of here tonight, let me share this with you guys. Okay, so what we got? Round 2, as we all know, Lowndes is going up to North Gwinnett. North Gwinnett favored by 1. Valdosta is hosting Brookwood, and Valdosta is favored by 11. Colquitt will be on the road to Grayson. Grayson's favored by 19. So what happens after that? Here are some possible scenarios, okay? What could possibly happen if these 3 teams win? Valdosta would host Walton next week. Lowndes would either host Hillgrove, which I'm pulling for Hillgrove tomorrow night. So a Lowndes win with a Hillgrove win will see the Hillgrove football team come down to Martin Stadium next week. If West Forsyth wins that game with Hillgrove, Lowndes will travel to West Forsyth next week. Now, if Colquitt shocks the world tomorrow night and defeats Grayson, they will be on the road the following week to Carrollton. Man, back-to-back, Grayson and Carrollton. Now, what happens if these 3 teams win and head to the semifinals? Valdosta would have a coin flip to determine if they are on the road to Beaufort or if they host Beaufort. If Lowndes wins, Lowndes would be at Grayson or Carrollton in the semifinals. If Colquitt beats Grayson and Carrollton, we would host Colquitt at home in the semifinals. How cool would that be?
That'd be awesome.
Lowndes versus Colquitt, round 2 in the semifinals at Martin Stadium. How cool would that be? And if everything plays out the way that everybody in Lowndes County hopes that it plays out, it will be the Valdosta Wildcats versus the Lowndes Vikings in the state championship game at Mercedes-Benz. How about them?
You talk about you talk about flipping the football world on its head.
So that's the scenario that we're all pulling for. Speaking of the Wildcats, Clarence Smitty Smith says North Gwinnett does not have the athletes to beat Lowndes. I wholeheartedly agree. Smitty, watching that game on NFHS the other night, I wasn't impressed. Now, North Gwinnett's got some big guys, but guys, in the playoffs, everybody's big, right? And
they're well coached too. That's a well coached.
And they're well coached, but they're not going to out athlete us. That's for sure. Yeah. And I think that's what Smitty's point is. He says North Gwinnett win against Colquitt was early, and Colquitt offense was not in sync. That's right. Travis Hart says, if Lowndes Valdosta meet in the state championship, would they shut down the city? The whole
No,
town would be there. They might be.
we just boycott it and we do a coin toss and we have it here in Martin Stadium.
Absolutely.
Or we just like, no, we're not going up there. Why? We're 15 minutes apart. Have it right here.
You talking about the biggest crowd ever at Mercedes-Benz for a high school football game? That
Yeah.
place would be packed. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I also want to say this, guys, about Colquitt County. Colquitt County has been a different team
They have.
since they came to the Concrete Palace. They've looked pretty good. I can't. I'm listen. I'm not a
They
Packers
got a
fan,
shot. They got a shot tomorrow night.
but look, if I'm picking Moultrie to win, I'm picking Colquitt to beat Grayson in the close one.
So now that we're picking, last part of the show, we always throw out our predictions. Let's start with Valdosta. Who's Valdosta playing tomorrow?
Brookwood.
So does everybody agree Valdosta's taking that game?
Not so fast, my friend. Not so
are
fast.
you about to pick Brookwood?
Listen, the last time Brookwood came to Valdosta that I remember was a cold night in 1996, led by Paul Freeman. Came in there and Brookwood won the state championship. However, they don't have Paul Freeman, so I'm going with the Wildcats by 10.
Man, Paul pulled a switcheroo on us there.
Yeah.
Chase, you got Valdosta over Brookwood? Chase, you still with us? All right, so I picked Valdosta over Brookwood by as many as Valdosta wants to score tomorrow night. Okay, so Colquitt at Grayson, Armond.
I got Colquitt 24, Grayson 22.
Colquitt 24, Grayson 22. I hear you, man. I hear you. Well, I think, did we lose Chase?
We lost Chase.
There we go. I think we just got him back.
Here
So you repeat your score, Armand.
I got Colquitt 24, Grayson 22.
Woo. Chase, Colquitt or Grayson? Still can't hear you, my brother.
I think he said Colquitt by 13.
Gotcha.
I don't know what he said.
Listen, as much as I would love to see Lowndes and Colquitt in the semifinals, I think it's going to be Grayson tomorrow night by at least 10, if not more.
I think Jalen Martin put on the show.
So the game that we are all, what was that?
I think Jalen Martin's going to put on the show.
Okay. All right. He's going to have to. Somebody is going to have to step up big for Colquitt County to pull off that upset. Okay, so let's talk about the game tomorrow night. Lowndes at Grayson. Who we got?
You know it's all about these Fly Boys, baby.
What did I say Lowndes at Grayson? I meant Lowndes at North Gwinnett.
Grayson, North Gwinnett,
the
University of Florida. It don't matter. I think we could beat UF right now too. But gotta stick it in. Gotta stick the knife in. But I got the. I think Lowndes gonna win. He knows always Vikes by 50. However, I will say this: we might, if we're smart, we might just hold on to the ball. And but I got Lowndes winning by two scores at least.
Gotcha. Here's what I'm going to say about this game tomorrow night. These are two evenly matched teams on paper. They both have great athletes. They both have pretty good quarterbacks. They both have pretty good running backs. And both of them have pretty good defenses on paper. But I think Lowndes is going to have to edge. You know why? Because looking at the back half of North Gwinnett's schedule, they hadn't been challenged very much in the last 5 weeks. They have not been challenged.
That's what I was going to say,
prepared for the playoffs.
The competition Lowndes has faced has been pretty stiff these last 6 weeks of the season. You got So I just think we played, especially Valdosta and Colquitt is playing those two teams and going on the road to a decent, Camden and Richmond Hill team. I think, and shutting out that scrappy Tiff County team, I think that's put us in position. And then last week, just being able to, to dominate Collins Hill like we did, I think we're gonna be all right. I tell y'all, I've been telling you all year, a good running game and a good defense travels well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. With that said, I think Lowndes is going to take this one by 7 tomorrow night. It's probably going to be something like 28-21 or 35-28.
I didn't give a score, but I'll say Lowndes 31-21, something like that.
Yeah. Now, Travis Hart, last thing we'll say is it will be on television tomorrow night on GPB. It'll be on TV, and if you don't get Channel 8 or GPB because of your television provider, your cable provider, you can always see it on the stream as well. I think GPB streams these games as well, and it'll certainly be on the NFHS network tomorrow night. So obviously that's a pay subscription type of deal. So guys, there you have it. We all three of us think Lowndes is going to win tomorrow night, as you would expect us to say, but I really do think Lowndes is prepared for this game a little bit more than North Gwinnett because of the schedule both these teams have faced in the last 5 weeks. That's going to be the difference. Our guys are ready for this. Lowndes is pretty much healthy. There's been some bumps and bruises, things along the way, but I think everybody is healed up and ready to go. Tawana Wood says, I'm with Mr. Godwin, a difference by 1 touchdown, which is why we have to stay on them. Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, guys, I know it's on TV, but I'm hoping that you travel with the team tomorrow night. We will see you up there in Swanee, Georgia. Don't forget, it's a 7:30 kickoff time. GPB is going to be in town, but because it's Friday afternoon, don't wait until too late in the day before you head up north because you ain't going to make it. It's Friday afternoon, and that means rush hour traffic. So be careful on the road tomorrow and make sure you leave in plenty of time. Armond.
Yes, sir.
Were you about to say something?
I was about to say something.
Close
This
out.
one has look. I think the boys are already up there. Get some rest if y'all are watching. Get some rest. Viking Nation is right behind you. We're coming right. We'll be there tomorrow. And listen, get some rest. Wake up, stretch, do what you got to do, and let's just get ready to bring it back home. That's all I'm saying. Unity, be together, play for each other, and everything gonna work out.
Yep. Now, speaking of unity, God bless every single one of you. You know he loves you. He died for you. And as always, go Vikings.
Go Vikings. What's up, Smoke?